The leader of the Council on American Islamic Relations, Nihad Awad, used the massacre of 49 Muslims in New Zealand to promote his fictitious hate report, Targeted. It goes without saying that the media will not report on this analysis from CAIR. In fact, if anything, they will promote Targeted morning, noon, and night. WCPO had 3 separate broadcasts promoting CAIR's latest hate report. There was a morning broadcast.
Shows evidence of increased discrimination and violence in our area. 9 on your side's Allie Kramer is live at the Clifton Mosque. And what are we expecting today in this report, Allie?
An afternoon broadcast.
Well, new numbers show anti-Muslim bias incidents from the past year. The Council on American Islamic Relations released the report. It outlines what happened across the country and right here in Ohio. The report says there have been 63 incidents in the past year involving mosques. 5 of those threats were right here in Ohio. The FBI is investigating at least one suspected hate crime in Cellular Park in February when someone vandalized a car. The group says
and an evening broadcast.
At 5, anti-Muslim discrimination is up. And according to a new report, the Trump administration's proposed travel ban could be one of the reasons why.
It is important to remember that CAIR's hate crime statistics are not coming from the FBI or local police. They are CAIR's own numbers. In this press conference about their previous report, Empowerment of Hate, you can hear them say that they make their own numbers regarding hate crimes.
Hate crimes are a subset of bias incidents in which there was some element of the incident that could face federal or state hate crimes charges. We don't always go with what the prosecutors say. Oftentimes what we find is prosecutors, because it's difficult to meet hate crime standards, will sometimes prosecute things we know. For instance, someone was attacked and beaten while the perpetrator yelled anti-Muslim things. Sometimes that will just be charged as battery so that the prosecutor can make their case. We would count that as a hate crime no matter how it was charged.
Notice he doesn't give you a concrete example of someone's religiously motivated beating prosecuted as merely battery. This would have been the time to show exactly how and why CAIR deviates from the official hate crime statistics. But we have to turn to the report itself for examples of CAIR's methodology. What we find is that CAIR is using the president as a straw man to push the claim that Donald Trump's rhetoric is causing Americans to assault their fellow citizens at an unprecedented rate. So, some maniac is running around assaulting women and claiming Donald Trump as a legal defense. Let's check this out. However, this is a reference to Matthew Hembach and his involvement in removing someone from a Kentucky Trump rally.
Get out!
That is quite a bit different from the impression one might get from reading CAIR's report. This is just not the same thing as someone claiming Donald Trump as a legal defense for randomly attacking women. This next example is particularly apt as it shows not only CAIR misstating the facts, but the media doing this as well. A man approached an American Muslim family's home and began spewing threats, stating, "Open the door, I want to kill you." He threw rocks through the windows and later told authorities that's what Trump would do.
They may have been targeted because they're Muslim. Their Long Grove home damaged by a man who then threatened a woman who was alone inside. Eyewitness News reporter Eric Hong talked to the family. Eric's joining us live tonight with more.
Kathy, the Lake County Sheriff's Department says they have a man in custody in connection with the incident, and minutes ago they released his mugshot. He's identified as 52-year-old Michael LaMandela. The family whose home was damaged says they were told by police he was talking about President Trump as he was being arrested.
It was a terrifying encounter. 2 front windows of the home shattered by giant rocks. Yard lanterns yanked out of the ground. This outdoor vase toppled over.
I was very in shock. It just hit against our people.
Zudi Abdallah says he wasn't home when it happened this afternoon, but his wife was, as the vandal came to the door and began spewing threats.
He told my wife exactly, "Open the door, I want to kill you."
Abdallah says his wife ran out the back door, the man giving chase and following her to a neighbor's home, where police arrived and arrested the man. Authorities have not offered a motive, but Abdallah says he was told by police what the man allegedly said to officers.
That's what Trump wants us to do. This is exactly what he told the police.
In fact, just yesterday, the family shot this video, showing what they say is the same man, standing outside their home for nearly an hour.
I am sure the man been watching the house, and he know my wife wearing a scarf. You know, because we're Muslim, that's what it is.
Authorities say the man who was arrested lives in this same subdivision as the family. He's being charged with felony criminal damage to property and is due in court tomorrow. Live in Long Grove, Eric Hong, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
But a look at the local newspaper shows that no one, not the defense attorney, the prosecutors, the judge, or the police, believe that this is a hate crime. Mr. Lamandela is not feeling well. He's hearing things. There's no indication bigotry was a motivation or that he even knew these people were Muslim. He thought the head of the Irish mafia lived there. According to the Daily Herald, the police report says Lamandela walked his dog home after breaking the window. There's no mention of threats or chasing. Again, there's no indication that the victim's faith motivated him or that he even knew they were Muslim. CAIR's sensationalizing of events carries throughout the report. The story of the 68-year-old woman who called a Muslim a terrorist comes across as a trivializing of the term hate crime.
You're not American. You're evil. You're a terrorist.
A dispute between two neighbors caught on camera. One woman is in jail tonight facing several charges. Her neighbor relieved she's no longer next door. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Nadine Woodward. The man behind the camera says he had to put up with mean and racist comments from his 68-year-old neighbor. KXY4's Kyle Simchuk live at the Spokane County Jail where that woman is being held. And Kyle, this neighbor says it's not the first time something like this has happened.
I think you might be terrorists. Yeah. Go back where you belong. Go. You are not American. Go back where you belong. You're not American. You're evil. You're a terrorist. I'm calling the police on you.
Terrifying, isn't she? Thank goodness we have laws to protect us from hate criminals like that.
Israel does have a prior criminal history. In 2015, she was charged with urinating in public, obstructing an officer, and trespassing.
CAIR pads their hate crime statistics with things that are not hate crimes, such as the case where the police are not investigating a scuffle as a hate crime.
A violent beating in the Bronx. The victim believes he was attacked for being Muslim.
This surveillance video shows a Muslim man in traditional clothing being followed out of a cell phone supply store only to be attacked right outside the door. Mohammed Munshi says one of the men, who he's never seen before, started to verbally abuse him while the group beat him.
Very angry with me. I don't know why angry.
CAIR would have us believe that Mohammed Munshi suffered a broken nose during a scuffle with several large men. However, there is no sign of blood in the security camera footage. His picture at the hospital does not show any sign of a nose injury. He looks fine during his TV interview 3 days later. But most importantly, the police do not consider this a hate crime.
The most recent incident is currently not being called a hate crime.
Pending further information, police are investigating the incident as an assault, but not as a hate crime.
In the interest of concision, let us look at just one more example from CAIR's targeted report, that of Robin Rhodes attacking a Muslim employee at the JFK airport.
Well, it's a crime the Queens District Attorney says has no place in civilized society. Police arrested a Massachusetts man at Kennedy Airport. He's accused of attacking an employee wearing a hijab. Now, the woman was sitting in her office when police say Robin Rhodes kicked a door open, hitting the chair that she was sitting in. They say that Rhodes then kicked the woman in the leg and hurled anti-Muslim slurs at her. Rhodes is now charged with a hate crime.
This certainly is not good, but what does it represent? No one is supporting this or encouraging it. There are no organized groups of Trump supporters roaming the streets looking for people to attack. In fact, just the opposite is true.
Terrifying night of violence as Donald Trump supporters were attacked by an angry mob waiting for them outside a Trump rally. It happened in San Jose. As the crowd headed home, they were set upon. One young woman tried to take them on, proudly showing off her Trump shirt.
She's egging them on.
Then it turned scary. She's hit in the face with watermelon and raw eggs.
Oh my God!
She finds herself all alone and cornered. The crowd screaming obscenities, and no one came to her aid, not even the cops. Someone get her in! Finally, she gets back inside and finds sanctuary.
I was so scared watching this video, afraid for what was going to happen next to this young lady. And why were the police officers holding the doors and not grabbing her and pulling her inside.
Headlines this morning say people leaving the rally were hunted and chased down like prey. Watch as this young man runs for his life. He's caught and knocked down. Look at the fear in his face as he attempts to flee.
Another fistfight's about to break out right now. A Trump supporter is getting pummeled right now.
This guy's Build the Wall t-shirt was ripped off his back. Then he's knocked and punched by 6 men.
Run! Get the hell out of here!
That's a reporter you hear telling him to flee.
7 more people just come in, start punching me. Pearl, I look pretty bad.
The mob even followed the Trump supporters to their cars. Inside a parking garage, the assaults continued. An SUV was rocked and taillights were snapped.
Supporting the president. You ain't supporting.
1,000 or so people had gathered to see Donald Trump, not all of them Trump supporters. Then an abrupt announcement.
For the safety of all the tens of thousands of people that have gathered in and around the arena, tonight's rally will be postponed until another day. Thank you very much for your attendance, and please go in peace.
Instead, all hell broke loose.
I was punched repeatedly. Why did you decide to wear Donald Trump?
Donald Trump has got to go! You voted Trump! You voted Trump!
You're a fucking white man who gets to do whatever he wants to in this space. Take your privilege somewhere else, please.
The security does not have a handle on the situation here. It is total chaos.
When I see that hat, I honestly just worry about my safety. Like, that is the first and foremost concern. And I see someone wearing the MAGA hat. What I see is an endorsement of the white nationalist agenda that President Donald Trump has put forward both through his words and his actions.
But Ballou argues the antagonism is usually done by Trump supporters, not the other way around.
It is not Trump opponents who are in the streets committing hate crimes. It is Trump supporters who are in the streets committing hate crimes.
Americans are simply not attacking Muslims at a record pace, no matter what you hear from the Council on American Islamic Relations.